how did that part come to you? Because like I read about the part and I'm thinking, God, for somebody with such a strong faith like yourself, it
Mhm.
it feels like a part that you sort of didn't have to do any research for. Like in a sense, you were like, well, like you just tell me that like God had a sister and I'm like, got it. Like
Well, except that the God in our show, Chuck, is like such an idiot. And my hope and belief about the God of my understanding is a little different from that. But no, it was weird because I don't have, I get this character breakdown. Again, it was an audition and it was somewhat vague, dummy sides. And it did allude to her like supernaturalness, like that she might be some kind of deity. But what I really connected to, because I was like, okay, what can I draw from in my experience of being a god? My ego's not that big yet. But the writers were so wonderful in setting her up because they said that she had a score to settle. She'd been rejected. She felt misunderstood. And I was like, I can understand that. And then she was fun. It was fun to get in her head. It was around the time that movie Room came out. Do you remember that?
You mean the one with Brie Larson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so somebody had just seen it who knew I was working on this character, and he was like, you should go see that movie because there's this kid in there who his entire existence for the first part of his life is just in this tiny little room.
Yeah.
And then he gets out into the world and, what would that be like? And similar for her. And and the thing that I always tell people, I'm like, Supernatural has created its own mythology. Like it's not trying to say anything, as far as I know, about like anyone's actual religion. And in this world, her brother God had locked her up at the beginning of time, basically because he didn't like the way that she was playing with the toys. So she's been locked up in a box, and then through something that Dean did having to do with the mark of Cain, she gets released. And all of a sudden, she's in this world where there's all these people who are saying, God is amazing, God is incredible. And she's like, is he though? Where is he? I want to talk to him. And nobody knows where he is because he's been hiding out.
Yeah.
And she's understandably frustrated that she's surrounded by all these people who are talking about this really great guy. And her only experience is that he put her in a box and now he won't say anything about it. And I could definitely relate to the part that's like, I really want God to be somewhere. I had this scene where I got to like in a church, like scream to the heavens, and it felt really good. Because I've had lots of questions about faith, my own faith. And so my way in was definitely a much more human way. But yeah, the connection to real faith and real questions about, okay, well, what do you believe and why do you believe it? Is it just because other people are telling you this, or is it because you've investigated it?
Yeah.
That was definitely resonant.